as crazy as this may sound and as crazy as this may be, I didn't believe it. But I definitely have a story that I'm going to share, and I definitely have a point to this story. Very short point. Story's longer than the point. But it's interesting nonetheless, and the message would definitely apply. So this TikToker, Maybe Blogs, she was like a blogger. She did makeup tutorials. She was like a beauty blogger. That was kind of her audience. Those are the people that watched her. Grew a tremendous fan base, had a lot of supporters, a lot of following, and got pretty famous on the app. So essentially, as she was getting famous on this app, her mother, who was essentially kind of like her best friend, you know, kind of how some daughters have that best friend relationship with their mothers. Her mother was like her best friend. So her mother goes in and not happy with the husband. Mother's married. She's got mom and dad. She looked like she came from what it seemed to be a decent family upbringing. So mom is not happy. Mom's not happy, and she decides that I'm going to start dating. So she starts dating, but here's the thing. The person she starts dating is 18 years old. Mind you, mom's in her early 40s at this time. Person she starts dating, 18 years old. She starts dating this young man, and things get pretty intense. I mean, they spend a lot of time together. He spends a lot of money on her, and they have a lot of dates. And it even goes as far as becoming very sexual as they start, you know, developing their sexual relationship, and they kind of start recording film, I guess, if you will. Not like they were uploading it onto any websites or anything, but you know how some people are kind of into that. They recorded, you know, content for themselves, I guess, to be able to watch back what they're doing or whatever. So after a while, it comes to a point where, you know, guilt comes in. As anybody, we're human. You know what I mean? I'm not judging. I just want to put that out there. I'm not judging this mom. I'm not even judging Maybe Vlogs. I'm not judging anybody in this situation, actually. I just definitely thought I could use it to shed light on one thing that I'm going to mention at the end of this video. But I guess guilt started to trickle in, as it would with anybody, like I said, that's human and who's not just an outright narcissistic sociopath or anything like that. So her guilt creeped in. And as that guilt started to creep in, she figured, hey, you know what? I need to stop this. I need to cut it all off. This has all been a secret. Mind you, she's been keeping this on the DL. As close as her and her daughter is up to this point, the relationship, everything that's happened, the sex videos, the lots of spending money, the dates, and all that stuff, she's kept it very quiet. Now, she decides, I'm going to end this with this young man, 18-year-old boy. I'm going to end this with him. He, of course, gets heartbroken. As he gets heartbroken, he realizes that, look, I'm not going to share you with your husband. I don't want to just be used and abused and left hung for dry. So he threatens her, tells her, hey, if you do not, this is a true story, by the way. I'm telling you guys, you can look it up if you don't believe me. He says, if you do not leave him and stay with me, I'm going to share everything. I'm going to tell him everything. I'm going to share, you know, I have the evidence because they had those videos that they recorded, the sex videos. I have the evidence. I'm going to use that evidence. And that's exactly what he used as his, I guess you could say, ammunition to get her to stay with him because he was heartbroken. He spent a lot of money. He spent a lot of time. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. You spend a lot of time with people. Eventually, they're going to mean something to you. Okay? So she didn't take that threat well. That's mom. Mom didn't receive that threat well. So at this point, that's when she said, look, I can't have my life getting ruined. Because mind you, she is the mother of a TikTok influencer, if you will, and a pretty popular one at that. So mom says, look, I need to get my daughter involved. So now let me tell you what's going on. Of course, I can't tell my husband. You know what I mean? So I'm going to tell you what's going on. Look, this is what's been happening. I've been dating this guy. We've been going out. He has these videos of me. He has these videos of us doing things that will completely just ruin everything. Mind you, when she told this to her, she did not let her dad know anything. Maybe Vlogs didn't tell her dad anything. When her mom let her in on everything, I'm dating this guy, she didn't even tell her mom to stop dating him. She didn't even voice her opinion. At least that's not what anything on the record shows. What she did was she just went along with it. And then when things got too heated and this guy started threatening the mom to release everything to her husband and everyone that she knew, then Maybe Vlog said, okay, I'm going to help you out. We're going to get in this. So mom came up with a plan, and you're not going to believe this plan. It's a pretty typical plan that I think anyone would kind of come up with this, but she came up with a plan. She tells the guy, let's meet up, pretty much acting as though she was going to reconcile things. She tells the young man, let's meet up again. maybe for some closure or maybe just to talk things out, just to see what's going on. The guy was actually demanding all the money that he spent on her to be paid back. There was a lot of demands that he had. I'm trying not to leave anything out of the story, guys. But there was a lot of demands he had. So it could have been a meetup to exchange that money or whatever, or it could have just been to talk. Either way, what I'm glad about this young man is he was smart enough to tell one of his friends, hey, come with me. Let's go. I'm going to meet with these people in a random parking lot at that. And I mean, at one point in time, we were romantically involved. And now it's not that kind of energy. So he was smart enough to say, look, I'm going to meet up with you guys in a public place, but I'm going to do it with company. So him and his friend go to the parking lot. They get there first. Maybe Vlogs and her mother, they drive there as well. But the only thing is they included 6 other guys to come as well. So the other young gentleman, 18-year-old guy, he shows up. He's there. He's waiting in the parking lot with his friend. He notices that Maybe Vlogs, her mother, he notices that she pulls up, and he realizes quickly that she's not the only one there, and there's other people, other guys getting out of the car. When he realizes that, he quickly looks at his friend and says, look, this is a setup. We're about to get jumped. They're probably gonna do something to us or try to threaten us or harm us or whatever. They quickly get in the car. Well, actually, they never got out of the car. Don't want to get ahead of myself. They quickly pretty much put the car in reverse, get the heck out of there. They leave. They get out of there quick. Now it's a high-speed chase because Maybe Vlog's mother knows this guy has information that can destroy me. And I didn't come here to give him his money back. I didn't come here to let bygones be bygones or even reconcile anything. I came here with the intent to threaten or maybe even possibly harm you, to scare you into not ruining my life, into not sharing this to the public, and possibly ruining my marriage and my daughter's TikTok platform and her social media. So now it's a high-speed chase. They're chasing after each other. They're speeding. And as they're speeding, they're looking at it. There's multiple cars. It's the car with the young guy, 18-year-old guy, the guy that, Maybe Vlog's mom was cheating with, and his friend. They're running away. Then you have Maybe Vlogs and her mother in one car, and then you got 2 other cars with 6 dudes, 3 dudes each car pretty much, and they're chasing her. Okay, they're chasing them, and as they're getting chased, the young man and his friend, they call the police and let them know. As they're on the phone with the police, this is where the story got interesting, and this is where it took a turn for the worse. As they're on the phone with the police, letting them know that, hey, this is what's going on. We're on a high-speed chase right now. We're being chased. This is where we're at. Pretty much just come meet us so you can come and rescue the day. As that's going on, they get ran off the road by those guys that were chasing them. They get ran off the road. Maybe Vlogs and them, they run them off the road. They crash into a tree. The car's on fire. Unfortunately, the young man and his friend did not make it, man. DOA. They did not make it at all. And as to sum it all up, Maybe Vlogs and her mother were sentenced and for double murder. So they are locked up, definitely playing their crime. But it's like now everything came out. And I got 2 things to say. Number 1, what's in the dark is definitely going to come to the light. And that's a perfect example. This story right here is a perfect example of how what's in the dark, no matter how much you try to hide it, no matter how much you try to pull up schemes and do other things and whatever the case, you try to hide stuff and you try to shove it under the rug, it's going to come out, man. It's going to come out because you were in the wrong. So this is going to lead me to my second thing. Just confess it. Bible tells us, confess your sin one to another. You were married. That mother was married and she cheated. You committed adultery. Confess that sin. Confess it to your husband. Now, I'm not saying, the Bible doesn't say confess your sin and then the person here on the world is going to forgive you. That's a whole situation for them with God that they're going to have to work out on their own. God says you'll be saved. Confess it. Don't hide it. Just confess it. And now you didn't confess it because you were afraid that your marriage is going to be over. Well, that's kind of a consequence you have to be willing to accept may happen for the action that you did. Confess your sins, man. Don't keep things under the rug. Confess that sin. She could have confessed that sin, and at the end of the day, yes, she might have probably had her marriage ended. Maybe Vlogs platform probably would have took a turn for the worse, depending on how the viewers and supporters she had felt about it. But at the end of the day, 2 lives wouldn't have been canceled. 2 lives wouldn't have ended. You understand what I'm saying? 2 lives were completely put at jeopardy. 2 families had a loss in this situation. And these guys were in defense from the complete beginning. These guys were in defense from the get-go. And I know some people may think, hey, that guy may have some accountability to take too, because, hey, he knew that he was dating a married woman. You know what I mean? So just let me know what you think in the comments about this one. I mean, this was an interesting story. Now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, there could be two sides to the story. There could be two sides to be on. I don't know. What side are you on? Let me know what you guys think. I definitely appreciate you guys tuning in this long. If you have, as always, I definitely always appreciate it. Till the next one, guys. I'm out.